Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Road to NoWhere podcast. If you're new around here, my name is Edward Extreme. I am your host. Each and every week. I try very hard to entertain you guys and suck at it, but I'm going to continue to make this series because I actually enjoy doing it. Which brings me to a quick thing I want to touch on before I go through my normal continued spiel here. For those wondering why these episodes have been coming out on Saturdays, two things. Thing number one, I'm lazy as fuck, and I forget to make them until Friday. And thing number two, I've been playing a crap ton of Borderlands 3, and that lines into thing number one. So, yeah, I've been really lazy about it. That will hopefully change this coming week. And I apologize for saying they're going to come out on Fridays, and then they've been coming out on Saturdays. That is not intentional. I'm just trying to make sure I get a video out to you guys no matter what. And I said before, Fridays or Saturdays, they're going to come out by about 9 a.m. my time, 8 a.m. Pacific, and I think that's 11 a.m. Eastern? I don't know what time that is anywhere else in the world, so there you go. But yeah, so these episodes were supposed to come out on Fridays. I've been screwing around and messing up, and that's on me. I do apologize for that. Hopefully that will no longer be an issue starting next week, because I plan to make some significant changes in my personal life over the next week. Speaking of my personal life, I very quickly just want to touch on a couple things. I've made mention of issues going on with my girlfriend and my relationship and all that fun stuff. Those issues have not changed that I know of. I don't even know if there are issues. I wish I could really talk about it, but I don't feel comfortable talking about it until I know exactly what the hell is going on. And as of now, I don't. So that's as far as I'm going to go with it. But that issue, along with other things going on that I haven't talked about, specifically money issues that I don't feel like addressing them on this series or any series at that point. But, yeah, so all of that's been going on, and it's been affecting the content I have put out. It also affects the amount of content I put out. And so, all excuses aside, I have been letting that be the reason for why I haven't been making videos. On top of that, I'm not going to lie, I've been really nervous. And I mean, you guys got to realize it's been over a year since I made content on a regular basis. Hell, it's been well over a year. It's been like, what, almost 2.5 years since I made content on a regular basis? This series is about the only thing I've done regular in a while. So, I very much want to get back to making content on a regular basis, but right now, I'm just, by the way, I apologize the mic is spiking, you guys. I'm getting used to this setup because I've never had the mic arm thing that you see a lot of YouTubers and Twitch streamers use. It's also used by professional broadcasters, podcasters, stuff like that. Yeah, I've never had one of these. I had a Yeti, and I would have to sit super fucking close to that goddamn thing, and I hated it. I enjoyed the Yeti, but I hated that I had to use the metal stand that thing came on, and duh. I hated it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed using it, but I hated it. Anyways, so I'm still adjusting to this thing and trying to figure out the best place to put it. I don't have headphones on to hear myself. That's something I should probably correct soon. Anyways, so the personal stuff has been affecting the content I've put out. It's affecting the amount of content I've put out. That is part of the issue. The other part of the issue is the fact that, like I said, I've just been lazy. Going forward, that is going to change. I no longer am going to let my personal stuff affect what I'm doing here on YouTube. And this will be the last time I address my personal shit for a while. I will still tell you guys stories from my past. In fact, I am trying to figure out how I can appropriately tell you guys a story from a couple years ago. I want to tell you this story. But there's very specific reasons for why I have to be very careful, because I don't want to get sued. So, yeah, that's a thing. But maybe we'll have that for you guys next week. Speaking of next week, it's taking me 5 minutes to get here. Almost. That's awesome. We have Shadowkeep coming out for Destiny 2. I'm excited about it, but not as excited as I am and have been for Borderlands 3. And I think a big part of that is due to the fact that I just kind of... Don't get me wrong, I love Destiny, and I'm still going to play the crap out of Destiny. I'm still going to do content on it. I haven't really done anything on Destiny as of yet because, well, it's been done to death, and that's just the way it is. And I try not to do content when everyone else is doing it, and I also try to do content that isn't what everyone else is doing. That's a big part of why I haven't done so much recently, because I'm trying to just kind of buy my time, you know? Don't get me wrong, I want to, strike while the iron is hot, but I also don't want to be the guy that throws out bullcrap content just because, oh man, I got to get this out now. I've done that, and the content sucked because I wasn't really enjoying myself. I can tell you right now, I'm looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to making content about it, and I'm talking about Borderlands 3, but I'm also talking about Shadowkeep. I'm looking forward to it. I am excited for it. Am I excited for all the changes? Not really. And speaking of changes, Borderlands 3 got some major ones this week. We got a patch that did some good. Not a whole lot of good, but it did some good. But it is what it is. There was a hotfix as well that came out yesterday that buffed some things, nerfed a few things, buffed a bunch of stuff. And I'm all for buffs. Trust me, I'm all for buffs. And I'm all for nerfs if they're justified. I believe those nerfs were justified, except for the Amara one. I honestly think they just need to change that perk, because they have a perk in the badass rank. It completely just, there's no reason to use the perk that she has. Just saying. So that perk probably should go away, I guess. We'll see. Actually, I think a really cool way of fixing that perk would be if you die, you respawn where you died as opposed to at a fast travel station. You can do it one time every 4 minutes. I think that would be a fair balance. You can respawn at the specific... words. You can respawn at the specific point in the game where you died. Like, so if you die, like, on a rooftop, you'll respawn on that same rooftop, but in a fury explosion thing, whatever, you can have your hand pop up, that little blue hand or whatever color it is based on your element. That hand pops up and you're in a phase bubble and it just lets you come back down. That'd be cool. That'd be awesome. I think that would give the character a real significant advantage in some ways. And it would also make her a little more useful for farming. Because, yeah, not really. Anyways, but Shadowkeep, I want to talk about that for a little bit. So we're going to do that. But before, let's talk about Shadowkeep, and then we'll come back to the thing I was just thinking about. Okay, so Shadowkeep, what do I like about what's coming? I like that there's a new story. I like that there's going to be new gear, new guns, new armor. I like the changes to the mod system. What else? I'm trying to think. I like the season pass concept. I'm not too thrilled with the whole light system, because the light you gain from leveling it up does nothing for you, which kind of doesn't really make sense. I mean, if it was leveling in a way that, like, helped you gain light, gain gear, then I would understand it more, but it literally does nothing. So, I mean, it does help because it will allow you to go through content that if you didn't have the gear to do it, you won't be able to do it. So that's a thing. But I don't know. I'm kind of confused on how the whole artifact light works. It doesn't... All of that is confusing to me right now. Maybe after I've had a few weeks to play with it and figure it out and get it like, oh, okay, that's what it does. Absolutely nothing, Then maybe I'll have a better opinion about it. Speaking of opinions, yes, I will be doing my first thoughts in next week's episode. Just letting you know. I won't be doing a separate video for it. I don't see the point at this point in time. But yeah, I'm excited for a lot of that. The things I'm not happy about are, of course, the major changes that are coming. You know, I get the whole balancing for PvE and PvP and all that god-awful bull crap. I get it. Just like I get why they changed the things they changed in Borderlands 3 this week. I get it. You want the game to have challenge. You want the game to be fun, but for the people that are actually going to invest the time and effort into, you know, really playing the game, there should be a reward for it. Right now, Borderlands 3 endgame is literally farm for legendaries, farm for anointed stuff. That's great. That'll eventually get boring. There's got to be something additional. And I know we have that event coming very soon for Borderlands 3, and that's going to be cool, but there's got to be a real end game that's worth chasing. We don't have raid bosses to fight right now. We don't have any kind of activity like that that really challenges the high-end players. I'm almost positive that is something that is going to be coming in a future update, but for now, it's just not there, and that's fine. For now, everyone is just getting specced out, getting their gear, locking in things, so on and so forth, and that's great. But, and this is part of why I was showing the gameplay, I wanted you guys to see where I got all my money from before my Borderlands series starts. Just saying. It needs something to up the end game value, because Mayhem mode is great, but the changes to the loot drop thing, which by the way, again, I want to clarify for those that are confused by this still, the loot drop, the chances of you getting a legendary have not changed. Your chances of still getting legendaries and stuff in Mayhem Mode 3 are still higher than in normal mode, especially if you're playing on True Vault Hunter. However, what has changed is the amount of loot. You're not going to get 15 legendaries out of one boss anymore. And this week they buff that even more, or they nerf that even more, if you will, and that's fine, you know, but I'm still finding stingy bosses, and it's really, really upsetting. I farmed, I think it's Heckle and Hyde. It's the same guy, by the way. I farmed him something like 100 times to get Pestilence. It's a pistol, COV pistol, legendary. Fucking thing wouldn't drop, even after the patch. So, yeah. That's annoying. And I don't know if that actually got into the hotfix or if it was just something they said, like, hey, you know, it's in there. It doesn't feel like it's in there. Also, why the changes to XP? But Gearbox, just saying. I was about to say Bungie. Why the changes to XP, Gearbox? Like, what the hell? Just saying. Like, Mayhem mode, I was more interested in the extra cash and all that. I don't know if that's a glitch though. I think it's if your profile data gets glitched, the only way to correct it is to completely delete your profile data and start from scratch. I know because I tried it earlier and it worked, and I noticed a massive improvement. But I also heard this, and if anyone knows this for a fact, if playing offline will permanently give you a boost, I will probably do that to keep my rank up, because otherwise I'm just annoyed by the whole system right now. Because it's really frustrating not getting XP at a more, you know, fast rate like you were before. I don't know why that was changed, but whatever. Although I think it's glitched. Anyways, where was I going with this? I don't remember. So yeah, Shadowkeep comes out. Gonna do content on it. Excited for it, but there's a lot of things I'm just like, yeah. I can honestly say I was more excited and still more excited for what's going on in Borderlands 3 right now than I am Destiny. And that's kind of sad because I've invested a literal year of my life over the course of all the DLCs and both games that have come out. A full calendar year of my life has been invested in both games. Actually, over that. I think it's almost like a year and a half time played across both games is almost over a year and a half. That's a long freaking amount of time to play a game. I invested a lot of hours in that fucker. And 6 years in, I'm kind of like, eh. I hate to say it, but that's honestly where I find myself right now. I'm like, eh. I'm excited for the DLC. I'm excited for the changes and stuff, but time will tell if it's worth it. You know, the season pass, all of that. Time will tell if it's worth it, and we'll see. But for right now, I'm excited for what is coming and what we know about. I'm excited for the changes that have been announced, but all in all, I'll wait to see them and play them before I make final judgment on anything. And yes, as I said before, I will do my first review of the game and the DLC and all that and the changes that are made in next week's episode. I think I mentioned that. But yeah. I think that's pretty much everything I need to address for the most part. So that's wonderful. I can get back to talking about Borderlands 3 because I'm really enjoying this game. And that is the sole thing I want to do right now is play Borderlands 3. I'm looking forward to playing on Moe's. I've been playing literally for like a week straight. I've played on Flak, and yeah, as much as I enjoy Flak, I want to try something new. So it's time to do that. And so that's what I'm going to do here. I'm also going to be starting oh man, Zane. Yeah, that's the character. I'm going to play privately on my own. I'm going to play as Zane, but I'm going to do my series on Moe's, and I'm looking forward to that because I've been wanting to start filming it, but it wasn't until when I'm recording this, by the way, that I said, you know what? I'm just going to film and see what happens. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully I enjoy myself, and hopefully it's good content for you guys. And yes, it is still going to be edited content for purposes of, yeah. And not like this kind of edits. Not like the edits you guys are seeing right now in this video. No, it's going to be way more severe edits because I don't want these episodes to be more than 20 minutes to 30 minutes long. I mean, 30 minutes would be an extremely long episode, and there would have to be a lot that went on, and I have to have left a lot of content in for me to have that episode be that long. But other than that, man, like I have no real plans of making long episodes. The longest I plan to make these videos are 20 minutes. Otherwise, they're going to be on average between maybe 10 and 15, with some of them going to 20, and then maybe a very small number of them going to 30 minutes. But that all depends on if I can get the new internet I want to get. Hopefully that happens this month. I will keep you guys informed on that one if you want. Just for those that want to know, I'll let you know. But I gotta be honest with you guys. I've had more fun playing this than I have playing pretty much anything else recently. And one thing I've addressed this in the past, I've been asked, well, why don't you do content on this? Why don't you play this game? Have you played this game? Have you played this? Have you done this? Have you done that? The answer to that is no. Almost 99% of the time, the answer is no. And it comes down to money. And as I said before, I'm not going to talk about money. And wow, I don't have any. But I don't. You know, I don't have a job. This is my job, doing this. If you can call this a job, I don't get paid for it, but it's my job. I would love to change that. If the opportunity ever presented itself, I would honestly take it. I'm not going to deny it. But I just right now want to make content that's entertaining and good. I'm not worried about making money. I did that the last time I did this. I regret that immensely. This time around, I'm just trying to have fun. And hopefully you guys will have fun with me. And hopefully you guys will enjoy this stupidity that's going to be this Borderlands series, because I know I'm going to be stupid as hell while I'm filming it. And I don't know what I'm going to do with the Destiny stuff, but I'm probably going to do something similar. And I, of course, want to play some older games and do content on that. Maybe not a regular thing. Maybe just like a random one-off. Like, you know, here's this game. I played it, and here's the content I shot. And hopefully you guys are entertained by it. In fact, I'm thinking of calling it one-offs, like the name of the series, one-offs. Just play through a bunch of old games. I've got a lot of old games I'd love to go back and play through and, you know, film and see what happens. Hell, there's games I don't even remember the story to, and I would love to go back and play those. I wish I'd done that with Borderlands. Technically, that Borderlands gameplay could have been, fitting for the first episode of that. But, I don't know. I'm kind of bouncing a lot of things off of you guys right now. I'm curious what you guys want to see and what you guys would be interested in seeing from me. But here's the reality of that. I haven't made good content. I'm not blind to that. I'm not dumb to it. So, yeah, that plays a factor in what you guys may or may not want to see from me. So, hopefully, I can change your opinions. If you're new around here, hopefully you guys are not basing purely on the old stuff. Hopefully you guys would judge me on what I'm making now as opposed to what I've made. Because, yeah, I know that stuff sucks. There are people who would disagree with me, and that's fine. I appreciate it. But I'm my own worst critic. I'm always expecting more from myself, and I feel like that is a big issue I need to deal with moving forward. But I'm probably not going to change that. I still feel like I need to up it. I need to do better than I did before, and hopefully I will. I want to. I'm planning on it. Hopefully it goes well, and hopefully you guys enjoy yourselves with the Borderlands series. Hopefully the Destiny stuff I do, whatever it is, because I know I'm going to do Destiny stuff. Hopefully that's just as good. But we'll see. And we will see hopefully in the next week. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, but I'm not counting on it. Anyways, you guys, we're winding down here. This episode's almost over. I want to thank you guys for joining me this week. I know I said these episodes are going to be between 25 and 30 minutes long, and they've been under that almost every week. Excuse me. It's due to just the amount of bandwidth that I have, man. Like, I can't upload the length of video I want to make. I would love to do an hour-long episode. Hell, I'd love to live stream. I currently cannot do that. And if I can get my internet upgraded, fingers crossed, praying to God, all that fun shit, because if I can, I'm going to do it this month. But we'll see what happens on that. If I can stream, I will. And I'm curious if you guys would be interested in that. I honestly think I would suck at live streaming because I'd be more focused on the game and acting foolish and goofy for you guys. But this series I think I'd love to do live. If I can do it, I think I would start doing these live every Friday. But we'll see what happens, Anyways, you guys, thank you for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Again, as a reminder, when this gameplay ends, this is when my Borderlands 3 series will begin. I will see you guys next week for another one. As always, until next time, adios.